Hey everyone. Hi. Beauty, alignment, abundance, health, harmony, love in your life through the divine feminine wisdom. And this has been inspired by some really deep personal experiences and work that I have been receiving in my own spiritual practice and life. So it's been a while since I've shared. Yeah, I mean, actually, I haven't been going on live that much, but the last time I came on, it was share like the gods and the goddesses on this platform because we do different kind of archetype work. But there's a story with the goddess Lakshmi that I feel like sharing. And I'm not the best mystical storyteller, but I'm going to do my best with this because it's such an important takeaway. And so, if you don't know already, the goddess Lakshmi, she represents abundance. She represents the divine feminine essence of beauty and luxury and heart, love and compassion. So, all of the goddesses really ultimately represent life force energy and life and creativity. And so, okay, let's see what I want to say. So, with the story, I'll just share and you'll get to see what we're about to do. Hi. Hi Kasha. Okay, awesome. Yes, I don't work with these goddesses. I don't talk about them much publicly because I kind of like to keep it separate, but this is a really powerful story. So Lakshmi's going along one day disguised. Disguised as kind of a not so beautiful, like, yeah, she's just disguised and she's not visible as the goddess, and she comes across, I think, one of the gods. I forget what their name is. And she hands him this gift, something that she created, this gift. And he, not knowing who it is, takes the gift and tosses it away and basically discards it and says, "This is worth nothing. I don't have no interest in this," and tosses it away. And she gets very she receives that. She takes in that information and obviously doesn't feel so good about it. She doesn't feel honored or respected or yeah, deeply, deeply, deeply mishonored. And her energy says, okay, well, if I am not valued here, I will leave. And she leaves, and not in a form of punishment. She just leaves because she's not valued. Her gift is not being valued. So she just goes. With her goes the abundance, the beauty, the love, the heart, the compassion, the life force energy, the creative power, the life, life. Life leaves with her because she is the source of that. Again, she's not punishing by trying to take. She just carries with her what is hers. And so after some time, all of the lands begin to die. All the water starts to dry up and there's no life. Everything is dead. There's no flow. There's no Shakti force present. And the gods go back and they like basically, uh, are outside her cave chanting for thousands and thousands of years until she's finally open and willing to come back to restore the life force that she took with her. And I love this story. Obviously, it's so powerful because it rings true. When we recognize the value that we bring, or we recognize that maybe perhaps there's an environment, a relationship, friendship, a work situation where we're not being fully valued. That it's time. That doesn't feel good. And this story is so powerful because it we always can leave. And when we realize that we hold the source of so much of this value and these gifts to the world, um, we don't run dry when we leave situations and environments that aren't fully honoring and valuing us. But this is what I want to say about this story. We are not always a safe place for the goddess. We are not always creating a home where she can thrive and feel good and feel seen and safe. When we dishonor our own intuition and feelings, and we don't make our feelings the highest priority in our life, The goddess cannot find a home in us. She is not in an environment that is that honors her. So we are the source then. We are the energy that is dishonoring to the goddess. Anytime we have a feeling that rises up in our body that doesn't feel so good, but we try to change the feeling, fix the feeling, make it better, um, willpower our way to solve the problem that is our feelings, rather than what I want to share with you today, which is truly our feelings and our emotions are the wisdom of the goddess, the communication system. It is the way that she communicates with us, and she is constantly communicating with us through feelings that feel good and feelings that don't feel good. She's saying, we are on track, we are in alignment. This is a path and a life that honors me, and I can live here, I can exist here. Or she takes away the feelings of pleasure and joy and alignment and goodness and leaves pain and discomfort and dis-ease. And the message is, this is not somewhere I can be. This environment, this situation that you are allowing, by silencing my voice, by not listening to this intuition of discomfort or dis-ease, by allowing situations and people into our life that aren't 100% in alignment, you are dishonoring my wisdom, my truth. This is not a safe place for me because my feelings are not being taken at the utmost level. They're not being considered at the utmost level. So my point is, we are not all of us. I'm in a journey myself of recognizing just how important it is value the to value our good feelings and our bad feelings, and to communicate with ourselves at an even deeper level than we've been doing. Okay, so I'm just going to pause for a moment. We are meant to live life 100% aligned, but we have been conditioned to believe that we have to sacrifice aspects of our desire or our truth in order to keep things that we want in our lives. But what happens is, when we live our life for years and years and years, trying to keep things around us that are only satisfying us a portion of the way, um, in the end, there is destruction that happens. And if we're not willing to destroy things outside of us in our physical life, whether it's a job, a relationship, a dynamic with a family member, if we're not willing to budge the physical world, the destruction begins to happen on the inside. And we either get extremely numb, extremely sick, diseased, or extremely out of control in our emotions. So if you feel, and again, everything I'm saying is coming from my own personal experience. So this is a big takeaway that I've been realizing. When I feel chaotic, I've always given myself the label of too emotional or overly emotional. That label has been kind of put on me. And so I felt shame and embarrassment and fear that my emotions are going to destroy things in my life, relationships and opportunities. But the thing is when the way I look at my emotions is, when I'm feeling out of control in my emotions, it's simply a sign that something is fundamentally out of alignment. I am not listening to the wisdom of the goddess, and she is speaking, and she will continue to speak until we find alignment, until we're back on track to a life that is a match to her power and value and wisdom. So is this making sense? I just want to check in, and if you're here live, would love to hear where you're tuning in from. I would love to hear from you. Please feel free to ask some questions. This is going to be a super long live stream today, but so if you feel awesome. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Maria from Toronto. Great to have you guys. So do you feel like you have given yourself, or you've been labeled with the label of too emotional or overly emotional, or do you feel like you're more on the numb side of things? And this is what I want to say. When you feel either of those two far extremes, when life feels chaotic or you feel overwhelmed emotionally, this is the wisdom of the goddess. She will storm and create chaos in your life until you find alignment, until you declare and commit to a life of 100% alignment with your true value, with her. For as long as you allow situations to come into your life that are even 90% aligned, but not 100% aligned, there will be chaos in your life. And this is, I think, this is like an answer to a lot of questions that I feel like have come in over the years is the divine feminine, the yin energy. The divine feminine is all the elements. She's every spectrum. She is fire and water. She's everything. Um, and she is the yin energy. As much as she's fire and transformation and radical, heat, she's also yin and soft and gentle and calm. And cooling. She's warmth, but she's also cooling. And I believe that our resting state as women is deeply calm, warm, and cooling. We are balanced. Our emotions are in balance. It is part of our power to express and emote and to have intense emotion. That is our power, but it's our power to transform. It's an in-between state that's trying to get us to equilibrium and harmony. It's not the end expression of our truth. I believe that our truth is deeply calm, deeply relaxing, soothing to the world around us, soothing to us, a state of parasympathetic relaxation. But we have undermined our truth so many times, abandoned ourselves so many times, left our own alignment, sacrificed what we really needed, sacrificed what we really wanted. And now we've built up lives that are fundamentally not in tune with what would work for the goddess. And that's what leaves us numb or overly emotional. The numbness is where she's just like, okay, I'm out. Like, I literally can't be here because you don't listen to me. There's no space for me here. I'm not heard, I'm not seen, I'm not honored here. Then I will leave and I'll take all of the pleasure with me as well, along with all the sad feelings and all the spectrum of life. So she's like Lakshmi, she's just peace out. Or the overly emotional, she's like banging on the wall. She's still there. She's still there. And it's not when she's numb, she's still there. She's just suppressed, she's still there. But if you're struggling with more of like the overly emotional, that what's happening is, sorry, 1 second here. What's happening is she is, oopsie. Sorry, I'm just kind of like not loving this setup. Okay, so when she's overly emotional, which was more my area of struggle, what's happening is she's still there. She's just screaming at this point. She's just screaming for your attention. And if you think of the world collectively, the feminine collectively, women collectively, I would say overall that what's put on to the feminine collectively right now is crazy, too much, wild, out of control. And we all feel those projections. We feel that and internalize it, and it makes it even scarier to have those feelings. But in order to heal and come into that true divine feminine aspect of more the yin resting state, we have to recognize that those feelings of chaos that are being spoken, that the goddess is speaking, will not go away until we listen to her message. until we honor her cry. So, what are you hearing? What are you picking up from this? Yeah, being too much. I wanted to know how to get into goddess energy, how to feel worthy and beautiful. I have a really great training for that. It's called the Feminine Activation Trainings. And um, you can reach out to me on Instagram at Elevated Woman Training and I can connect you. Okay, always unhappy. Yes. If you're feeling always unhappy, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling anxious, that is not what you're here to feel. But that is like a symptom, and it's simply wisdom being spoken, a message being spoken to you by her that something is off. And you're not standing for a dream life that is 100% aligned with what you're truly here to experience. Um, okay, so I'm doing a workshop on this whole topic plus way deeper on Sunday. It's called Sacred Essence, Be a Voice for the Goddess. And I am going to put the link right here, and then it's also in the descriptions. But I want to talk about this workshop. So I'm doing a workshop it's $197, definitely valued at about $400 this workshop, because we're going deep into the divine feminine wisdom and some really powerful information. This is just in a way, it's like the introductory call to a deeper 8-week mentorship. And so that if you click on this link, you'll have access to both. My recommendation, if you're interested in the mentorship, is to purchase the workshop. I call it a master class, a priestess class. Purchase the priestess class and join on Sunday. And what we are going to be talking about there is the opening process to what we'll be diving into in the 8-week process. And if you do decide to do the 8 weeks, you can join and put that $200 toward the 8 weeks. But the application process is actually a call with me. So where I'll be kind of like getting to know what's going on with you and your life, and if you're a good fit for this program specifically. But I just wanted to introduce this, and whether you do that, the mentorship or not, or join for the priestess class on Sunday, what I want to share is what we're going to be diving into in that class, as well as just in this video right here, is just really, the importance of aligning with your truth at this time, and realizing that we really have had programming that has made it feel that we can't live 100% in that integrity. And I have a mentor who, Deborah Hardy, and she shared with me this quote. I don't know where it came from, but that the definition of codependency is when you're on your deathbed, when you're about to die, basically, that someone else's life flashes before your eyes. So what we're going to be doing in this program, Sacred Essence, Be a Voice for the Goddess, is reclaiming your life. Reclaiming the life that you were sent here to live, that is so much bigger than perhaps what you've been allowing or believing is possible for you. And this happens when you start to finally honor the wisdom and the guidance of the goddess that is literally here in every single moment. It's reconnecting, like putting the avatar, like, those dragons, and they like connect at the roots or whatever. It's reconnecting you to the goddess that lives within you, the goddess that is connected to all of us, that is wanting to have a home here on earth through us. She is us. That is her. But we have not created a space, a home where she is fully seen for all of her power and magnificence and value. And this program, Sacred Essence, is about creating the internal mental, emotional commitments to yourself in such a way where you finally become a safe place to be a voice for the goddess. And when you are a safe place for the voice of the goddess, when you are 100% her and representing her, life opens up and you receive levels of abundance and manifestations, love, beauty, perfection comes into your life. Because what does the goddess, if you think about this, and please answer in the comments if you can, when you think about what the goddess would allow in her life, just take a moment to close your eyes and visualize this for a moment. When you think of the goddess manifesting and allowing or not allowing things to come into her life, what does she allow? And imagine something that's not fully a match to her energy and power trying to come into her life. What does she do? So, as a result of only allowing what is a true match to her value and divinity, what has she created in her life? What has she allowed around her? What has she built up? When you only bring in what you love to your life, you never have to throw anything away. So, I want to share one more thing. Um, I experience a lot in this in my audience and in the elevated woman community. There's a lot of women that, and myself included, have experienced this anxiety about the future and what it holds. And will this happen for me? Will this not happen for me? What if? Anxiety and lack of trust that the future is going to work out in a beautiful way. And we get stuck on like the past and this evidence of, but it hasn't been that way in the past. And what if these things continue? But the reason the past was existed in the way it did and manifested in the way it did is because we were in a state of not being 100% committed to what feels good to us, that we allowed things to come into our life that were not a full match to our divinity and truth. So when you commit 100% to your alignment, and alignment just means that you only allow things that work for you 100% of the way. When you're committed to alignment in this way, there's no need to fear the future because you have self-trust that anything that comes into your life will feel good. It will be 100% in alignment, not 90% in alignment. You're no longer someone who engages in any kind of situation with anyone or anything or a situation that does not feel 100% good in your body. If you do that, your future is a guaranteed good feeling because you are in charge of what you allow and what you don't allow. Is that making sense? So we don't have to fear the future based on our past experiences because we can recognize that we were programmed to allow things that didn't work for the goddess. She wasn't being honored and listened to in the past. But now you have a new way, and that way is to tune into your truth, truly communicate, truly receive, and listen to her message and information. And you're so full, overflowing, and abundant that saying no over and over and over again to anything that doesn't work only brings in more. You get fuller from that action rather than emptier, because it's when we engage in something that isn't aligned that ends up draining us. And that's what puts us in a state of need and emptiness and desperation, because we have now been drained of all of our Shakti force power and beauty and truth and wisdom and heart and compassion and love. So when you stay committed to it, you are um, um, when you stay committed to it, you actually keep a lot more of your sacred power and Shakti force than if you were to stick with the thing that's out of alignment. So, this is a great question, Maria. What if my truth is seemingly leading to me to something challenging? Yes. So, one of the, oh, this is what I was going to say. One of the reasons I believe that a lot of women between ages of like 20, late 20s to late 30s, often I experience a lot of this community. It can be beyond that too, but there's a lot of anxiety that can arise and fear of the future and mistrust of the future. This is really simply it's because we've spent our time manifesting and building up things in our life that are fundamentally out of alignment. And therefore, we feel the destruction that's inevitable. When you're committed to the spiritual path, you are committed to alignment, truth. And therefore, what's not in truth has to be destroyed. And I think that's really what can create a lot of the anxiety underlying is that we know something that's fundamentally out of alignment that we manifested and had to keep in order to keep that structure built. We had to remain as incongruent with our truth as we were when we first built it in like at the beginning. So whatever you created from a place of, and that doesn't mean that every single thing in your life is just going to leave, but there is going to be a destruction of the current form until you come into 100% congruency with you. And then what? And then you don't have to keep anything. It just stays because it's meant to. The efforting happens when you're not you, you're a false you, and therefore you have to it's sort of like it's kind of like keeping a dog on a leash because you know it's going to run away. And that's the only way to keep it, or trusting that the dog's going to come back and it just comes back. So it's keeping things stay in your orbit without any ties, rather than having to keep ties to keep those things. So yeah, yeah. Oh, yes. Happy new abundant year. Happy 2022, everyone. Thank you for reminding me. This is the first live stream of 2022. That's fun. You've helped me in the past year to heal, protect, and enrich my energy. Oh, thank you so much, Lark. That's amazing. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Things have already begun to fall away since I have embraced my spiritual journey. Yeah. So in a way, there's really no I'm not concerned or worried about anyone here because I know you're on the spiritual journey and you are bound by the goddess. Like if you want to be, you don't have to be, but if you choose the spiritual journey, which often is like a soul choice, then you will be taken to where you need to go through all the lessons and all the hard things. But this is what's coming through right now as a result of learning my own learning and I'm a projector in human design and I keep learning more about what that means. I'm really here to help people get there in the fastest, most effective way. So when I share information, it can be seen as like a time lapser, or it can collapse time if you apply. I'm not saying it's not my wisdom, but just the perspective that comes to me often is one around like collapsing time and making things more effective. And it just makes sense if you think about it, like how much energy is lost when you build something that's fundamentally out of alignment. It has to, not only is energy lost when it has to be destroyed and all of the destruction and like loss that comes in that, but think about all the energy that's lost trying to keep something together that's not supposed to be, aka you're not you in order to keep it. So much energy is drained, and that does not have to be the way it is. So you're meant to hold that the power that flows through you is not meant to be drained. And we can bypass that destruction when we just create from alignment in the first place. And the way to do that is to truly connect to the goddess, her voice, her wisdom, the feelings that you feel in your body, the numbness that you feel in your body, and get to a place where you and her are finally feeling good. So, oh, that's something that I think about when I feel anxious. My soul is taking me where I need to go, like this live stream. Yes, and Maria, you have more say in all of this than you think. You have more creative control with the universe because again, I think the anxiety is the unknown. And when you give yourself something, when you give yourself a knowing, when you rest in the knowing that it's self-trust, I will only allow what is 100% in alignment. Thoughts, feelings, perspectives, relationships, engagements, everything that I allow in my life will be 100% in alignment because that's the only thing I'm committed to. What does it feel like to feel that level of commitment? What happens to the anxiety when you know that anything that comes into your life in the future is only going to be something that works for you? It's only going to be something that works for you. What happens to the anxiety? Oh, so beautiful. Your words melt my heart and brings peace and strength within my soul. I always say this, like, I am committed to truth. It's the number one commitment I have. I'm only interested in truth. And if you could imagine, like, I bask in it. I literally sometimes will just visualize myself like taking a bath in truth. And in that bath, I know that anything that's not truth is falling away. And I that's my number one commitment in my life. It's been that way for years. And I believe the reason that's so important and the reason that, you know, anytime we feel peace, hearing information from whoever it's coming from, it's because there's congruency. There's something about it there's nothing distorting um, the information, the divinity and the frequencies that are coming through. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Even in this video, I'm like, I feel a little bit off, but it's okay. But I'm just trusting, like, the stream is open because I'm talking and I'm not even like knowing what's coming. But I feel like my energy's off, but that's okay. You guys will love me still. Anyway, and it's okay if you don't. But so yeah, like even still, I'm still working constantly on like belief systems and old ways of seeing the world and everything. And I'm still coming into like a 100% life of alignment. Um, it's not always like I'm still working on it too. So anyway, I wanted to talk about something else, but I'll talk about it on in the workshop on Sunday. So again, check out this workshop. I There's two links in that link, and one of the links is to the Sunday workshop for $197, and the other link is to apply for the 8-week mentorship program, Sacred Essence, Be a Voice for the Goddess with me. And I actually channeled this information quite like a month and a half ago, and I'm really happy that we're finally at the stage of bringing people into it. That the mentorship program is an 8-week period. We're meeting twice in February for 2 3-day immersions. So we're going to be meeting each day for a deep dive, 2.5 hour journey into the divine feminine, and really, really deep on those days. And then you're also the part of the program is also 2 private calls with me. And I don't do private calls very often anymore. Very rarely. So I'm excited to offer that to whoever does join and get to know you on a more personal level. And you also get access to the Feminine Elevation System, which is my, for 8 weeks, that 8-week period, you can study that. And that is my signature program that really goes through all the fundamentals of elevated woman, in shifting out of your masculine energy into your feminine. What is the feminine? Awakening your archetypes, um, activating divine love, healing codependency, people pleasing, so many different layers of the divine feminine wisdom, connecting to your core code, which is like your unique blueprint for this life, and so much more. So you get access to that. And there's only 10 spots that are available for the mentorship program because, yeah, that's just what I was guided to. So it's going to be an intimate space, and there's already 3 spots that are taken. So if you are interested in doing the mentorship program, follow that link and book a call. I'm actually taking these discovery calls. Um, because I want to get to know who you are for this program specifically. And it is a deeper investment, so definitely please don't sign up for a call if you're not ready and willing to invest um, money, like quite a bit of money into it. It's not, yeah, it's definitely not for people who just are looking for. That's what the workshop is the workshop is being offered on Sunday as a way for people who aren't yet in the position of investing more money, to also gain access to the codes of sacred essence and the teachings I'll be diving into in the mentorship at a level. So if you are not in a financial position to do deeper work, then you can do the workshop. And if you do the workshop, you can also put that toward the mentorship. Okay. So I'm sending lots of love. I will talk to you all soon. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, I'm probably most active there. And I am at Elevated Woman Training. Right. Sending lots of love. I'll talk to you soon.